Hey everybody, it's Jason from MAPsignals. I'm coming to you this time with the best energy ETFs for today's market. As I'm sure you're aware, energy has been on fire since January. We're here in June, so I thought it'd be really fun to take a look at the best energy ETFs right now and some of the powerhouse stocks underneath them. So let's just get to it. So let's just check in with the big money index. You know, it's a gauge we really care about at MAPsignals. You can see when money is moving in and out of the market. So I'm over here in my portal. We're just going to sort of zoom in on the last year, better yet, the last 6 months. And what do you see? It's been a straight shot down since April. And look at this, May 24th, we hit oversold. We dipped below and we stayed there for just a couple of days, and all of a sudden we've seen buying and the market has been rallying. So money is moving back into the market, at least momentarily. Now, the important thing isn't timing the perfect bottom. What's important is understanding that once we're oversold, the forward returns for 1, 3, 6, 9, 12, and 24 months are all very positive. Over the past 30 years, it's only happened 20 times prior. This is number 21, so we can expect forward returns to be positive. So that is actually a bullish signal, one of our most bullish signals at MAPsignals. If you want more information on that, you can click the link below. Like and subscribe to be updated like this, but you'll get insights like this all the time. So let's just jump into our first energy ETF. All right, so let's just hop on over to our ETF module. It's still under construction, just so you know. Doesn't look that great, but here we can see the top ETFs, and look, lo and behold, they are all energy ETFs. So I went ahead and I just picked out a few. Notice over here on the fundamental side, 62.9, that's really strong. And because you can get some ETFs down here with, low 50s, 45 even. So you just want to be paying attention to what stocks are underneath and not just ones that are technically strong. So let's just jump right in. We're going to start by looking first at one you may have remembered from last time, which is FCG. So I just want to take a look at this chart and look at some of this big money buying. I mean, wicked since October, straight up. And this thing has been on fire. It's the First Trust, a natural gas ETF, FCG. And one of the stocks in it that I love is a stock called CTRA. That is Cabot Oil and Gas. It's now called Coterra Energy because it merged with another company. I'm just going to move my mug over here so you can see that. Very strong fundamentals, 71 nearly. Technically, it's kind of extended because so much money has been flowing into energy. Look at that one-way train for the past several months. Since January, it's been a top 20 stock several times. Let's just check in with the fundamentals. Look at that phenomenal one-year sales growth, 161%, 3-year sales growth, 41%. 2-year over 1 year, not so great yet, but forward looking, it's probably going to be really good because margins are high. It's got 3-year EPS growth, 100%, profit margin of nearly 32, and low debt. This company is a big money magnet, and it's one of the biggest holdings in FCG. Moving on to our next one, let's pop back over here into our ETF module. I'm looking at this one, FTXN. Has a pretty high fundamental rating, 60.4, technically 77.5. This thing is strong. So let's just look at some of the stocks in FTXN. This defaults over here to SPY. That's why you were looking at that. Look at this Chevron, Marathon Oil. That's the one we're going to look at, MRO. This one has been on our lists for quite a while. You can see a ton of big money flowing into this one. I mean, literally straight up since November and October. Look at all that big money flowing in. On the fundamental side, letting that pop in here, 1-year sales growth of 81%, 3-year sales growth of 9.3%. Again, EPS growth is negative, but we expect that to turn positive with all the margin expansion that's going in. It makes a 17% profit margin, has reasonable debt. It's trading at a low PE of just under 7. Remarkable for an energy company. A lot of big money flowing in, and this is one of FTXN's biggest holdings. So moving back over to our ETF module, once again, it defaults to SPY, the S&P 500 tracking ETF. So if you're wondering, why are we looking at Apple and Microsoft? Those aren't energy companies. That is why. But looking over here, our top ETFs, my face might be blocking it. Let's move that. We're looking all the way down at the bottom at FXZ. Why did it catch my attention? Because it's got a 65.5% fundamental. That is a strong score when you factor in that it's got tons of stocks. Let's look at the ETF real quick. FXZ, First Trust Materials AlphaDEX fund. So it's not really energy, but it's in that energy industrials materials complex. So I'm kind of cheating here, but it has one stock that I would love you to take a look at. Let's pop back into the ETF module, FXZ. Let's look at the stocks inside. We got silver miners, we got RS, we got a bunch of material stocks, but one that caught my interest here is WLK. So let's pop into our map view module where we can look at individual stocks. This is Westlake Chemicals Corporation. It's got a fundamental score of 71, technically pretty extended. They make chemicals, polymers, all that good stuff, polyethylene and good stuff like that. What does the big money think about it? Look at this. As the money flows in, that stock lifts. Now, look, I'm just going to take those buys away so you can see when people are selling it and they got to get out. That might be an opportunity on a fundamentally superior stock. And that's what we see with WLK. How do we know it's fundamentally superior? Well, it's appeared on our top 20 list. That's the best of the best, the creme de la creme. The outliers, let's look at its fundamentals. 1 year sales growth, 57%. 3 year sales growth, 14.5%. Again, 2 year over 1 year is negative, but we expect as margins are expanding because the space inflation is causing materials to go up. That's going to go positive. 3 year earnings growth of 143% makes a 17% profit margin. Has okay debt, but look at this PE ratio of 6. Dang, that's cheap. So Westlake Chemical is our cheater energy stock in an energy ETF because they're really materials, but it's part of that whole complex. We're back in our ETF module over here looking at the top ranked ETFs on the right over here. One that caught my eye is PXE. It's got a big fundamental score of 60.65. If I scroll over here, 91. I mean, this thing, all these energy ETFs you need to know are extended. They might have a little pullback at some point in the future. So if you're looking for an opportunity to buy, you might want to wait till it pulls back a little bit because it's kind of all the money's flowing into the space right now. But PXE is really interesting to me. It's a Invesco oil and gas exploration ETF. It's got great stocks. Look at this: Occidental Petroleum, Valero, CRK, Devon Energy, ConocoPhillips, and on and on and on. EOG Resources. These are great companies. But one in particular caught my eye. Do you want to know why? A couple of weeks ago, Warren Buffett came out and said he was building on his stake in Occidental Petroleum, OXY. This company has seen huge big money buying. And if you want to know if at MAPsignals we can spot people like that, well, look at this. Big money buying, big money buying, big money buying. Warren Buffett announces he's buying up more of that company. And let's look at potentially why. Well, 1 year sales growth of 51.5%, 3 year sales growth of 16%. The earnings growth has not been great, but again, with expanding margins, and everybody at the pump knows how expensive gas is, that goes right into the pockets of big oil. This is one of the biggest in the business. 10.7% profit margin. It's got Warren Buffett's fingerprints literally all over it, and you can see that right here. Hopping back over to our ETF module for our fifth and final energy ETF. It's another cheater. Sorry. It is FFTY over here. It caught my eye with a very strong fundamental score. A reasonably okay technical score means it's not too extended. Let's just look at some of the stocks in it. What is it? It is the Innovators IBD 50 ETF. Now, the Investors Business Daily is a great publication. Been following them for years. Bill O'Neill, they release an IBD 50. This index is really cool. Is it a dedicated energy ETF? No, it is not. But look at the top stocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all energy. Number 7 is an energy stock. Murphy's USA is a discretionary stock, but that's actually Murphy Oil. It's a gas station. So a lot of the top 10 stocks this time around are energy stocks. So it's not an energy ETF, but it's got a great one in here. Matador. Let's take a look at Matador. Why do I like Matador? Let's move my big face here. Matador is, oil and gas exploration. It's got reasonably good fundamentals, 62.5, 94% technical. This thing is extended, folks. I would expect it to pull back. You look at that parabolic move. Last time it pulled back sizably, but then just legged higher. A lot of big money moving into it. Again, when you see selling on high quality stocks, they tend to be entry points over time. We can go back even further and look at that. So let's put the buys back in there. You see the big money lifting the stock. It's been a top 20 stock recently. Let's look at some of these fundamentals. 1-year sales growth, 117%, 3-year sales growth, 41%. Again, 2-year and 3-year earnings growth, not so great, but with margins expanding, these companies are set to benefit from inflation right now. It makes a 31% profit margin. It is trading at 5.5 times earnings. Folks, that is super cheap, and forecasted earnings are set to be even higher. So there you have it, the 5 best energy ETFs for this market, with a couple of cheaters in there, but a ton of great energy stocks powering the market higher. Thank you for spending your time with me. If you liked what you saw, please like and subscribe. Definitely sign up at MAPsignals.com for a free blog, free insights like this. Don't have to buy anything. Also, if you want to leave some constructive comments, praise, criticism, whatever it may be, please leave it down below. We want to try and make these things better for you. I appreciate you, and I will see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Take care. Bye.